Have you ever felt, stuck? You know that feeling, right? Where you know you should be doing things to feel better, but you just can't seem to find the energy or the motivation. Well, today, we're going to talk about a really powerful, science-backed technique to get you unstuck. And we'll look at a tool that makes it super simple to start building that momentum again. So let's get into it.
Wow, this quote just hits so hard, doesn't it? Because it gets to a truth that so many of us experience. You can look like you have it all together on the outside. You're succeeding at work, you're there for your family, you're checking all the right boxes, but inside, it feels like a totally different story. That feeling of being down isn't always something people can see. And honestly, for a lot of high achievers, that pressure to keep up the performance makes it even tougher to deal with.
All right, so here's the game plan for today. First up, we're going to unpack that downward spiral that keeps us feeling stuck. Then, we'll get into the key to actually breaking free. And finally, we'll walk through 3 simple, practical steps you can start taking right away using a tool that's designed to help you every step of the way. You know, if you want to change something, you've got to understand it first. Just giving this pattern a name is a huge first step toward taking back control. So let's really break down what this vicious cycle looks and feels like. So it almost always starts with some kind of trigger. It could be something really big and obvious, like losing a job, or it could be a bunch of smaller stressors that just pile up. Either way, this is the thing that gets that whole depression ball rolling. And naturally, that event kicks off an emotional response. You feel sad or maybe overwhelmed, anxious. And what's our first instinct when we feel that way? For most of us, it's to pull back, right? To kind of retreat into our shell where we feel safe. And those feelings, they lead directly to what we do, or more often, what we don't do. We start avoiding things. Maybe it's staying in bed a little longer, ignoring texts from friends, or skipping out on things we actually used to enjoy. We start to isolate ourselves. Now, here's where it gets really tricky. This isn't just a straight line. It's a loop, a feedback loop. When we avoid things, it actually creates new problems. Our friends might stop reaching out, our work piles up, and we miss out on any chance for a positive experience. And those new negative things, they just make us feel even worse, which makes us want to avoid more. And the cycle just keeps feeding itself, spiraling down. And when you're in the middle of that, it can feel totally hopeless. But what if the secret wasn't trying to change how you feel first? What if the key was to change what you do? What if you could actually take that downward spiral and flip it into an upward one? And that brings us to the solution. It's a really powerful, well-researched therapy called behavioral activation, and it's designed specifically to break this cycle, not by focusing on our thoughts or feelings, but by focusing on our actions. To put it really simply, behavioral activation, or BA for short, is all based on one simple truth. What we do has a massive impact on how we feel. So instead of waiting around to feel good enough to do things, BA flips the script. It teaches us to do things in order to feel good. And this quote right here, this is the absolute core of it all. It is so important to get this. When you're feeling down, your brain is literally wired to avoid. It's not just going to magically give you a shot of motivation. The science is clear on this. We have to act first. The motivation and the better feelings, they come after. Okay, so how do we actually start doing this? Well, it all begins with one simple thing, awareness. And this is where the Activate app comes into play, because it turns this clinical technique into a really simple daily habit. So, in traditional therapy, the very first step is to track your activities and rate your mood on a worksheet, pretty much hour by hour. It helps you see that direct link between what you're doing and how you're feeling. It's super effective, but let's be real. Carrying around a piece of paper can be kind of a hassle. And that's exactly why the Activate app was built. It takes this crucial first step and makes it totally effortless. You just pop open the logs section in the app and quickly tap in your activities and mood as you go about your day. It just gets rid of all that friction so you can focus on what's important, building that awareness. So after you've been logging for a little while, you'll start to see some patterns. And whenever you feel ready, you can move on to the next phase. This is where we go from just observing to actively taking control of our schedule. The whole goal here is to start scheduling more up activities. These are the things that are proven to give your mood a boost, and they usually fall into 3 main buckets:
things you do just for fun, which is pleasure, things that make you feel capable and give you a sense of accomplishment, that's mastery, and things that connect you to what really matters to you, your values. Now listen, the most important thing here is to not overwhelm yourself. Seriously, you're building a new muscle, so you've got to start incredibly small. Pick just one or two of the easiest things you can think of. And don't just say, I'll go for a walk. Be specific. Schedule it. Walk for 10 minutes at 12 p.m. Think of it like physical therapy for your mind. You always start with small, gentle movements.
Okay, the final step. And honestly, this is where the magic really starts to happen. All that stuff you've been logging, it's not just for tracking, it's for learning. This step is all about discovering your own personal patterns, what works for you. When you look back at your logs, a really clear picture starts to emerge. You'll begin to pinpoint your up activities, the things that consistently make you feel better, and your down activities, the ones that just drain you. And from there, the goal is pretty simple. Do more of what works and less of what doesn't.
And this is where the Activate app becomes your own personal guide. You don't have to sit there and try to analyze everything yourself. The app has a mood board feature that automatically crunches the numbers for you. It finds your personal up and down activities, and even uses AI to generate weekly insights to help you plan your week ahead. It's basically like having a coach right in your pocket. And all of this, the logging, the scheduling, the reviewing, it all works together to build that upward spiral we were talking about. Each tiny action creates a little more energy, a little more motivation, which makes the next action just a little bit easier. And your mood board becomes this amazing visual record of your progress, showing you the way forward. So I want to leave you with this one simple question. It doesn't have to be some huge, life-changing thing. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just think, what is one small thing, listening to one favorite song, walking to the mailbox, sending one text to a friend, what's one small up activity you can do today to take that very first step?